Welcome to Across the Desk. This week we have Sean Cummings back with us, and we're going to discuss more stuff on the jail trust, what's going on with the Oklahoma Democratic Party and his run for chair, and maybe a couple other things as we get going. Welcome to Across the Desk. Well, Sean, here we are again.
Once again.
Yeah, you're still on this jail trust thing,
Right.
and I noticed that in the last week or two, you've been still on that,
Right.
still talking about it, and still things are happening that
Right.
they're doing. So tell us more about it.
Let's kind of give everybody a framer for where everything is. So the jail trust was still going along, and then things were going bad at the jail as they continue to. Look, the jail trust is what I would equate to this. So let's say you and I are dogs and we chase a car down the street. Mm-hmm. What do we do if we catch the car? We're just stuck and it just drags us along. I think that is essentially what has happened with them. They thought this was a real estate deal. And what they ended up doing is owning a hotel, a major catering company, and a transportation company, and a healthcare company, and maybe even a psychiatric care company.
Yeah.
And they're not prepared or skilled enough for it. Really and truly, there was another death yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday, one more. And this is after the guy taking the guard hostage last week. And so, look, when I say this is a steam kettle, I really mean it's more of a pressure cooker. And the people are stuck in there, and now everybody's on lockdown. So they are literally stuck in their rooms 24 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Every day, no showers, you just get your food through the door. But how many people do you think are in a little, 12 by 12 room?
Yeah.
3 or 4 now.
That's 12 by 12 rooms, the size of this room.
Crazy.
It's not.
So somebody's sleeping next to the toilet, and we know they're overflowing. There's no water, and the food's bad, and all this other stuff. We are finally to a point now, it's got to be coming to a head. Because you and I have talked about this a few times.
Yeah, didn't they have a contractor that just backed out? Somebody, was it the...
Yeah, that was the medical people.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's actually owned by a legislator named John Eccles.
Okay.
And oddly enough, he's very good friends with Kevin Calvi.
Oh, well, this is kind of scratch my back a little bit, put my business in there. That's the plutocracy of Oklahoma, huh?
Yeah, it's the gravy train of politics. And this is what you start to learn, is everybody's kind of got a hand in this. So they threatened to pull out. So the jail basically goes on lockdown, and they did work on some plumbing again. Well, they'd already worked on plumbing before, and we have to sooner or later admit the jail is terrible and tear it down.
Yeah, I mean, that's been going on for a long time.
Right.
Since the 90s,
25
we've been
years.
talking about how horribly it was designed. Yeah. The architect company did a shoddy job. And the thing is just falling apart. Well, at first they were pushing those glass blocks out to escape.
So that design was taken off of a psych hospital, not a jail. And it shouldn't belong in a jail. Here's the funny thing. So the jail job came in $3 or $4 million under budget. What if they would have spent that $3 million? How much would we have saved over the $100 million or more?
Yeah.
And so I realize they have their hands full, but what they really need are people that understand the business that they're in.
Yeah.
We really need them all to step down. So David Prater put a deal in the county commission last week for them to vote on getting rid of the jail trust. After they talked about it, they voted 3-0 to not get rid of it.
Get rid of it. All of them decided, let's not get rid of it. Was there a reason why? What's their reasoning?
Well, they were like, we'll just give them time. Well, the problem is, if you can't produce after a year, you're not going to produce any better in 2 years.
Yeah.
5 days later, we have another dead person who was on suicide watch.
Yeah.
Who was literally supposedly checked on all the time. When this one comes out, it'll be ugly. And once again, this all, steam kettles up, pressure cookers up, whatever we want to call it. Heads need to roll at this point. The head of the jail needs to go, and at least Tricia Everest with the jail trust needs to go. Whether the whole jail trust needs to go or not, my opinion is yes, other people's opinion are no. But we need to at least cut the head off.
Teresa Everest, we've talked about this before. That's a very familiar name.
Yeah, Gaylord family member, hard people to go after. But even she has to admit now that they failed.
And again, here we go. Someone on a board C that really doesn't have any practical experience in the matter. How does she get it?
No business being it. Right.
How does she get there? Is it the money? What is she flashing around? Money, power? They got influence? What's going on?
The rumor was that they wanted people from Oklahoma City on there so they could take care of Oklahoma City's interests.
I gotcha.
Which, for whatever that means. So,
Okay.
yeah, she's related to everybody in Oklahoma City who used to be in charge. Look, the Gaylord family doesn't have the Oklahoman paper to beat everybody up with anymore.
Not really.
So they do not have the power structure they once had. But ideally, she would admit her failings. It's very difficult to fail publicly.
Yeah.
But we need to be done with this and move on and see if there's a solution.
On the jail trust, the other thing that I was thinking about was, we need all this money to fix all this stuff, and they got contractors saying they're not getting paid here, or we need more money over here. But I remember talking about how they wanted to set like 1.1 million or 1.5 million into the lobby.
Oh, 14 million.
14
14
million?
million.
Oh, I'm way off.
So
Okay.
they stole the $40 million of CARES Act funds. And
Yeah.
they ended up being able to keep about 15 million of it. We
Okay.
wrangled 25 back. But with that 14, out of the other 25 is what they were going to build the lobby with.
Yeah.
And we managed to get it away from them. They are making really weird decisions. Instead of, so here's the thing, you look, if I took this over as a company, I would look and go, okay, the biggest problem seems to be labor. Where can I get temporary labor in here and solve some immediate problems? Get food out on time. Get the water running, and if the water's not running, get water trucks outside.
Yeah.
They literally have like semi-trucks that have showers in them, and you could bring people down one floor at a time and get everybody showered and stuff. It would be a hassle, but it can be done.
Yeah.
The other thing is to get community volunteers involved. So if you were a hotel guy and you're not for Radisson or somebody like that, and you're retired now, bring them in and show you how you would do it at a Radisson. It doesn't need to be as nice as a Radisson.
Yeah.
It just needs to be effective.
Okay.
And then you go, okay, large-scale caterer that does a couple of thousand people at lunch, a couple of thousand people at dinner, goes down and watches the kitchen operation and takes notes and goes, here's how you can fix it. If you do this and this, and I'll come back for a couple of weeks and teach you how, but then you're on your own.
Yeah, now Sean did a video on Facebook a little bit ago. He talked about who would be great at running the jail trust, and you said hospitality, hotel, managing.
Transportation.
Yes, transportation.
And now we really need to look at mental health and hospitalization, because it is the biggest mental health hospital in the state, and we're just storing them there until they lose it.
Yeah.
I mean, this lady killing herself, she had mental health issues, and we know that. So one other thing that came up in that county commissioners meeting that I think may be important to the audience, they want to do a version of Cops, but a nicer version, supposedly.
Oh, yeah.
And the sheriff didn't really have a vote. The county commissioners had a vote whether the TV cameras went into all the cars or anything.
Yeah.
And I was really concerned because this is a new sheriff. He's a young guy. He's great. I mean, really, so far, he
What's
seems
his
to
stand on it? Does he have an opinion, or did he have one, or was he able to have one? I don't know.
These are people that don't understand show business. So what I said when I got to speak is I said, what do you get out of this? You're wearing a 24-hour-a-day body cam.
Yeah.
They will use it. You give them rights to use it for anything they want. They will 100% use every bit of it. Their deal is to make money. What if something negative happens? They get to use it worldwide.
Definitely.
And the commissioner still voted for it anyway.
The other thing, so when Kevin Calvey's out on his Facebook page reeling about, they took our money away and that's why the jail's so bad, because they took their $14 million to fix the lobby. And these radical leftists came in and made us change, really.
Yeah.
They made, these radical leftists made him change that. He stood up to, they made me change. But he stood up to you.
Right.
But basically, when he's talking about radical leftists, he's talking about you, isn't he?
It
He's talking about Sean.
Me specifically.
He's him specifically. He's talking about Sean.
Okay, so I don't know if we've ever talked
You're
about
a radical
this before.
leftist, huh? How radical are you, Sean?
Well, I will admit, on some things I am definitely left of center.
Okay, yeah, me
There's
too.
a bunch of things I'm right of
Me
center.
too, definitely.
Right, so he's talking about protesters, and look,
Yeah.
the protesters there were loud. It's legal.
That's
This
legal.
is America.
It's America.
We get to do this.
Yeah.
If we don't like what you're doing, we get to tell you
Yeah.
in whatever manner we choose, as long as it's not violent or threatening.
Yeah,
And one of my deals about being in charge of the Democratic Party, no seat goes unchallenged. No seat.
Yeah.
Make them work
That'd be
for
great.
it. Even if you're going to lose, make them
Yeah,
put money
because
out and everything.
Last time we had
There was a ton.
50 plus.
Yeah, I can't remember the
No
exact
challengers. Like I was saying, Olson got to walk right in, and that's why we get all these crazy bills that we got.
And so
Because
it just keeps
no one's
moving.
challenging him.
Right, and so I have friends go, well, that's not about straight party voting. And you go, yes, it is.
Well, it's not about any voting, because if Olson's the only one on the ticket, he's not going to be on the ticket. He automatically wins. There's no vote.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that crazy? So really and truly, that's the bridge. So these guys have moved up to this next level. And then we've got a guy running. He's running the GOP for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That is an absolute right-wing nut. If you
he got out of the legislature because he was a right-wing nut with all his anti-Muslim and Islamic stuff, and he just, I guess, he resigned or didn't run next time, is what he did.
And then now he's the head of the party.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
And he got it on the first vote.
Yeah.
So the big thing is this is all caused from us not running people against him and straight party.
Pretty much.
So we only get to blame so many people. So when Calvi is going, well, these leftists over there, these leftists. I don't know a Democrat that doesn't know the guy.
They took our money.
Right? Yeah, and we took the money. So he stole the money. We got some of it back and gave it to the businesses where it was supposed to go. And some way or another, he's the victim.
Yeah. They didn't let me spend $14 million on my lobby, and that's why we're having the problems we're having. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, those Jesuit priests would be beating him right now.
Yeah, geez, man.
But isn't that weird? That's what he and I have that tie together. And so when we argue a different way than other people do. And I know I see people kind of watching going, what's
something interesting. You were mentioning that he's got this, private army, real scary stuff. Yeah. Well, you know what? On his Facebook page, let me give you get your reaction to this, because he's got, I'll show you something. Let me pull this up real quick, because he has on his Facebook page, somebody commented about Biden and how awful he was and all this stuff, and it had nothing to do with his post, of course. Of course, it's Oklahoma is what he's posted about, Oklahoma County, so somebody's going off on Biden, but he says in his deal, this guy said, oh man, Biden. So he gets out there and he puts up this post that says, wish we could remove Biden. That's pretty vague.
That word remove
doesn't say how or anything else. But I mean, an elected official, someone who's puts out paid ads on Facebook by the tens of thousands of dollars worth.
Because people don't like him.
Yeah, that's why. And he puts out a thing like this that's so vague. Wish we could remove Biden after somebody posts a deal. And you're wondering, what does he mean by that? I mean, here's a guy with his own, doing his own
fake militia.
His own fake militia and everything else, supporting the Second Amendment groups and having them intimidate people. And he's going, we wish we could remove Biden. And he's just so vague about it. That's kind of dangerous language, I think. What's your reaction to that?
So here's the thing with him. He likes to, throw an incendiary device in there and then stand back and act like he didn't do it.
Bomb thrower.
Right, he's a bomb thrower. Sorry, he's a bomb thrower. He likes to throw a bomb in there and then see what happens. And what he wants to do is penalize you for your reaction. So if you and I are standing someplace and you're stepping on my shoe, I'm going to politely ask you to get off my shoe, right?
Yeah.
Second time, it's not going to be so polite. I'm going to push.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, he assaulted me. And I go, no, man, I asked you, and you were standing on my shoe.
Self-defense on my part.
So it's a strategy for him. All of this stuff is a strategy for him to look like the innocent law and order guy.
So cowardly.
When really, he was the guy walking with a dude at a gay park to go get behind a building, and they found a dead body. Now, that should end anybody's political career.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Well, he was able to deflect that toe poke. We found a dead body! There's a dead body here!
I know. Dead body. I mean, how often does that happen? And he was cruising a gay park. I mean, it's a low-down park. It wasn't a gay park. It's where men hook up. Yeah.
Well, maybe he was just, commissioning it.